Hey guys, I wanted to come on and do a video on, I've been doing lots of videos about the wonderful health benefits of Clinoptilolite, and so I have purchased a couple of Clinoptilolite, Zeolite, Clinoptilolite. I wanted to run a test on them to see, the important part is the particle size. And they both have the same claims that they have the same particle size. One was $80, well $69, one was $29. So I bought both. And I wanted to see, because I'm kind of a connoisseur of Clinoptilolites, I wanted to see which one I like the best. So we're going to do a jar test is what it's called, where I put a measured amount, a teaspoon, in a glass of water, and then we see how much settles during a 24-hour period. Typically the 24-hour period is the time that it takes for 1 micron or larger to settle to the bottom of the jar. If it's still suspended, then it tells me that it's 1 micron or smaller, and then it can get into the blood, so that's the important part for me. They both claim that their 80% is 1 micron or smaller. We're going to see. Okay guys, so here we're actually going to do the actual, it's called a jar test, but we have it in a wine glass. So I've got a measured amount. I'm going to put, this is the one that I know all the science to, that I've read. And they have some pretty impressive lab results. But this is just a simple homemade way of testing the micron size. Okay, here's the second one here. Let's and this is both reverse osmosis water that I've tested. It had 10 TDS when we started. But we're doing mostly just a particle size. What we're going to do is we're going to let this sit for 1 day, 24 hours, and we're going to stir each one. Basically, anything that is settled on the bottom is 1 micron or larger. Anything that stays suspended in the solution is 1 micron or smaller. So you have a wide range of colloids, suspended particles, all different sizes. This one's having a harder time mixing in. So the reason I bought both of these was to do a test. This one was 90 grams and it was $30. This one is 100 grams and it was $70. So I just wanted to see if you get what you pay for, because in a lot of times I'm finding that you can, that you do. But I want to give both of these a fair shot. When I was researching this company here, they had a lot of links on their site, but it wasn't to their research. It was to other people's research, which doesn't mean anything. It could still be quality research. That finely mixed. There's still a couple particles in the top of there floating. Let me see if I can show you. I think all the particles are gone, but look inside. That one is a little bit different color than this one. The way it dissolved and the way that everything else is clean off the glass, I really like. So far I like this one. This one has far more science. It's more expensive. Well, we'll see. So that concludes this test. I'm going to let this sit. Nobody will disturb this for 24 hours. We'll see how much is settled. So this company claims, their claim is that 80%, well, they both have the same claim, that 80% of this product is 1 micron or smaller. The reason that that's important is because anything that's lower than 1 micron can actually get into the bloodstream and start picking up all the mycotoxins and metals and whatnot that's in your bloodstream. If it's larger than 1 micron, it stays in your gut. It does good in your gut. It helps pick up toxin there. But I'm trying to get the best of both worlds. I take a lot of supplements to get the toxins out of my gut, so I'm looking for something that has 80% of its mass that can go actually into my blood system. So this is going to be a really good test for me. So it is 6:34 my time. 6:34 tomorrow. We will come back and revisit. Look at the level so far in that cup versus that cup. I would say 50%. So, okay guys, now we're at the end of our 24-hour test, and I'm actually quite surprised. It's actually 25 hours. I'm actually surprised at what I found with this left cup. This left cup, I put the same amount of water in, and look at the left cup. This left cup here has probably absorbed maybe a half an inch of water. So the zeolite on the bottom is actually absorbing that. This surprises me. I would not expect it to absorb that much. This tells me that there's an inferior product in this one because true Clinoptilolite should not absorb as much. And as we can see it here. The second thing is if you look at the very bottom, this is why we actually did the tests. This here has about twice as much solids as this one. This one claimed about 80% was less than 1 micron. So did this one. I'm seeing here that this one is probably closer to maybe 20% is less than 1 micron. This one is close to the 80%. One more thing I want to point out is I want to show you these have not been disturbed for 24 hours. If I shine a light into the back of this, you can start to see this one has settled only maybe a centimeter. If I shine the light here, you can see this one has actually started to settle like maybe a quarter of an inch. This is the small suspended particles that are actually starting to settle. It's just another layer of micron size that typically you don't see in a 24-hour jar test, but I'm just pointing it out. So one more thing that I want to show you, I haven't tested this to see, but I want to show you the difference between suspended solids and total dissolved solids. So some of these may have dissolved, but when I started with this, the TDS was about 12. Now with the temperature, it can fluctuate 4 or 5 numbers. So let's see what it is. 26. So there were some total dissolved solids, but you can see that water's not even clear. And it's only still 26 parts per million because the TDS is actually measuring the dissolved solids, not the suspended solids. Oh, look at that one. 77. So that tells me again the purity level. This one is not near as pure as this one. 20, 28. And some of that could be a little bit left over from this one. So all in all, guys, I'm sold on this one here. They have a ton of science to back it up, and on this one, the science paid off.